Hello everyone, welcome back to Real Life. I hope you're having another wonderful day. Today's episode is an ordinary yet remarkable reel of color film footage from around Cleveland, Ohio in 1936. What makes it so remarkable is its age. This is the earliest 8mm Kodachrome reel I have restored so far. Unfortunately, the cameraman or woman struggled with the camera settings and parts of it were terribly underexposed. I've done my best to restore the footage which reveals life in Cleveland in the 1930s. Not bad for 90-year-old color film. The footage is quite ordinary. Ripening wheat fields with cars passing on a highway, autumn colors and trees and marshlands along a railway line, a steam locomotive pulling a freight train. The most interesting scenes appear to have been captured from the observation deck of the Terminal Tower with views of Cleveland Public Auditorium and the Cleveland Municipal Stadium. Kodak launched its Kodachrome color film in 1935 for 16mm. Kodachrome would go on to be the benchmark for photography for decades and is appreciated in the archival and professional market for its accurate color reproduction and dark storage longevity. The following year, in 1936, Kodak launched Kodachrome for the 8mm film camera. By 1931, the Kodak Eastman Company saw the Great Depression influencing their bottom line and their ability of customers to afford the now harder to attain 16mm film cameras. They came up with a creative solution. The format ingeniously used a double perforation 16mm film strip. The user would expose one half of the film, flip the spool, expose the other half, and then after processing, the lab would slit the film lengthways and splice the ends together to create a 50-foot, 8mm wide film. No need for another expensive production line. They launched the Cine Kodak 8 8mm film camera in 1932, and it was a hit. For the first time, ordinary people could capture their lives in motion. The high cost and complexity associated with professional film equipment was removed, making it possible for middle-class families to document vacations, birthdays, weddings, and everyday moments. Early Kodachrome film in the United States was sold as process-paid product, meaning the initial purchase price included the cost of development by Kodak's labs. This made the film highly accessible for amateur use, as users simply mailed the exposed film back to Kodak and received the developed reel in return. Kodak helped define the home movie industry. It's unknown what the exact retail price of a 50-foot roll of 8mm Kodachrome was in 1936. However, it was likely quite expensive, somewhere in the range of at least $200, adjusted for inflation. While initial 8mm film was black and white and silent, the introduction of Kodachrome color film in 1936 brought vibrant color to home movies. This created an industry with new camera companies producing cameras, lenses, tripods, projectors, and support equipment as consumers became quite savvy. Bolex, Revere, Bell & Howell, to name just a few. With its growing popularity, home movies on 8mm film became cherished family artifacts, providing a unique visual history for future generations. In the pre-television era, the family movie night, gathered around a compact projector, became a common cultural experience. Tapping into the home movie field, enthusiast magazines gained popularity. Home Movies, Hollywood's magazine for 8mm and 16mm, was by far the most well-known. The monthly periodical for amateur filmmakers, published by Vern Halen Publications in Los Angeles, of course. The magazine's primary focus was on the technical and creative aspects of home movie production, using 8mm and 16mm film formats. The magazine covered everything related to the amateur filmmaking hobby, including equipment, techniques, and the craft of storytelling with personal films. Issues featured numerous black and white photos, drawings, and advertisements for the film equipment available at the time. It often tied into professional filmmaking by featuring Hollywood stars. The magazine was in circulation from the late 1930s through the late 1950s, along with others like Panorama. When television became more popular, interest changed. Most stopped publishing in the 1960s. However, the American Cinematographer is still in monthly publication today. The American Society of Cinematographers, ASC, began its magazine in 1920, catering to the professional cinematographer. A special nod should be given to Moving Picture World, which was first published in 1907 in the US, and Cinema News and Property Gazette in the UK from 1912. I hope you didn't mind this brief journey down the rabbit hole that is the history of 8mm home movies. There's more fascinating history that I hope to share with you in future episodes. This reel has a 1935 date code discrepancy which can be easily explained. This 8mm reel likely was made from 1935 16mm film stock, hence the 1935 date code. I hope you enjoyed this episode, yet another film reel rescued. If you truly appreciate these old reels, consider supporting by becoming a member. Your support is appreciated given the efforts it takes to restore, preserve, and research these vintage films. And if you're looking to rehome old 8mm or 16mm films, I'm always interested. Thank you, be kind, and have a great day.